Today we are going to venture outside of the Copenhagen city center and go to Roskilde. We're going to head to the train station to activate our Copenhagen City Card. What is this card, you may ask? Well, it's this special card that you could get in denominations of 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, and it gives you like entrance to over 80 attractions, and then most importantly, free public transportation. Since we're going to be using all sorts of trains and buses, we figure it'd be better to get this card and just cover the cost of our transportation and museum visits, or at least for the next 24 hours. Welcome back to my channel. I'm looking forward to this day trip to Roskilde while showing you how the Copenhagen City Card can save you money. As you know, Denmark is expensive, so we were curious how much the Copenhagen City Card could save us. Watch to the end to see if we recoup the cost of the card. So we have 24 hours from the time we activate it, so we're going to activate this card. Go ahead and hit that and then swipe to activate. Okay, so we're going to start now at 11:16. Now card is activated. We have 24 hours. The TOG train system, so this will be our first time on it. Looks like they go to a lot of places, way more than the metro. This train is nicer than the one that we took from Aarhus going to Copenhagen. Seeing that it was $15 for the train ticket per a single ride, we already made a dent into the cost of the 24-hour pass at about $72 US. Even better is that we didn't have to stand in any lines to buy tickets or figure out how to do it on a separate app. Just show the activated Copenhagen City Card. We're off to Roskilde on this 30-minute train ride. Now, Copenhagen has different systems for buses, metros, trains, the S-train that can be confusing to sort out if you're a tourist, so the City Card takes away that apprehension over whether you bought the correct ticket. I really like how smooth the journey was. They have frequent trains running on the line between Copenhagen and Roskilde. And 30 minutes later, we're here in Roskilde. Roskilde is a charming town just outside of Copenhagen, known for its rich history and deep Viking roots. So what are we doing today?
Two big things are the cathedral and the Viking Ship Museum.
Viking Ship Museum. Oh, okay. Once the capital of Denmark, it's home to the stunning Roskilde Cathedral, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the Viking Ship Museum, which showcases the country's seafaring past. The town's mix of medieval architecture, cultural landmarks, and natural beauty makes it a must-visit destination for anyone exploring Denmark. The Three Jars of Roskilde is a striking modern art piece in the city center and worth a quick visit. And this is some sort of pedestrian promenade. Don't have to worry about any cars here, just bikes, but basically it's a pedestrian walking street. Algade is the bustling main street in Roskilde, lined with shops, cafes, and historic buildings. You can buy camping equipment here or outdoor equipment. I guess that's their version of REI. This is a good reference marker here. So we're going to the cathedral, so it's 0.4 kilometers away, not too far away. And then the Viking Museum, 1.3 kilometers, so it's about a mile. As we get closer and closer to the cathedral, there's more shops. Certainly, if you're interested in shopping, this is the place to go. I see a lot of sales. That's actually not a bad price for the strawberries. 2 baskets for 50 crowns. That's like 2 baskets for like $7.50. I was tempted to buy some strawberries, but I could see the cathedral straight ahead. Some information on the Roskilde Cathedral. The cathedral is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Roskilde Cathedral is one of Denmark's most famous landmarks. It's the home to the royal tombs of Danish kings and queens. This stunning Gothic cathedral, with its towering spires and intricate architecture, has been a symbol of Denmark's royal history for over 800 years. It's a must-see. Here's the entrance, and I think our Copenhagen City Card covers the entrance fee. Normally, admission to the cathedral would cost about 10 US, but the Copenhagen City Card covered it. Entering the cathedral, I could see there was a service going on and being delivered in Danish. What was striking about this cathedral is that you could walk on the second floor balcony, which allowed you to see some of the tombs of past Danish kings and queens from above. One of the highlights of visiting Roskilde Cathedral is seeing the tomb of Queen Margrethe I, one of Denmark's most powerful and influential rulers. Her beautifully crafted tomb is a testament to her legacy, and it's a unique opportunity to connect with the deep history of the Danish monarchy. The other notable tomb to visit was that of King Christian X, who ruled during the Nazi occupation and would defiantly ride his horse unguarded throughout the streets of Copenhagen. He was the symbol of Danish resistance. Here are some newspaper clippings from the time that Queen Margrethe II ascended to the throne in 1972 following the death of her father, King Frederik IX. Here's an interesting fact about the Danish royals. The king's names alternate between Christian and Frederik with each generation. The current king is King Frederik X. Guess that keeps it easier to remember. At the time of this filming, Queen Margrethe II is alive and well, but they already have plans for her burial monument in the cathedral with this mock-up. It was a bit morbid to view this model, but it's a reminder of memento mori. That was the most unique cathedral visit I've ever had. Can't say I've ever been in while they were having a service. There was organ music being played, and I wasn't too far away from the royals that have passed. How convenient. The Viking Museum is 0.8 kilometers away. That's about half a mile, so not too far of a walk. It was an easy walk on the paved and tree-lined streets. We're walking through a park called Byparken. It feels like we're walking through the forest, maybe because of the tall trees. Byparken is a peaceful park located just behind Roskilde Cathedral. It's a great spot for a relaxing stroll or a picnic, and it's steeped in history as it was once part of the old royal grounds. The park's serene atmosphere provides a perfect break after exploring the cathedral and town. And now to the main attraction on this tour. It is the Viking Museum. The outside almost looks like a Viking ship. I don't know why. These things hanging out from the windows reminds me of oars. And again, we're going to use our Copenhagen City Card to enter. It cost 22 US for admission and included tours of the interior of the museum and also the outdoor shipyard, which we will see in a bit. Thank you, Copenhagen City Card. We saved about 22 bucks. The Viking Ship Museum is a must-see for history buffs and anyone fascinated by Viking culture. Inside, the museum houses 5 original Viking ships that were excavated from the Roskilde Fjord. These ships were used for both warfare and trade, offering a glimpse into Denmark's seafaring past. I can't believe that these are real Viking ships that they had assembled from the parts they excavated. They found pieces of the wood and were able to assemble them like a jigsaw puzzle to the grand vessel that we see in front of our eyes. The indoor section also features artifacts from Viking life and interactive displays that help you step into the shoes of a Viking sailor. Children and adults can dress up in costumes and pretend they're living the Viking life. I passed on the costumes, but I wanted to row a Viking ship. I'm rowing the oar. It's actually a pretty good ab workout. Now that we're done with the exhibits on the inside, we get to go outside and see the rest of the museum. Outdoors, we found even more Viking ships on display, some of which have been meticulously rebuilt using traditional methods. It's amazing to see how these wooden ships were constructed and to imagine how they braved the open seas. So a way for them to take you out to sea on the ships. I have no idea how, but it does look fun. And just a reminder that we're actually at a harbor. There are some yachts that are parked at the marina or docked at the marina, and I do see some sailboats. Oh, there's even an area where I guess they have like some wood cutting demonstrations. Yeah. Oh, I guess we can go in. And to think, this is how the Viking ship started, as a pile of timber. And over there, there's a demonstration area, especially for the kids, where I guess they can chop up wood, saw wood, sand it down. This is the workshop. I gotta watch my footing. Good thing I'm wearing these shoes instead of like wearing sandals, because this is an area that looks like it's easy to get a splinter. There were live demonstrations on site showing exactly how Viking ships were built. Watching craftsmen use age-old techniques to shape wood into something seaworthy was fascinating, and it brought the Viking era to life in a whole new way. We're not as hungry as a Viking, but we should get something to eat and drink here before our next excursion. The candles on the tables were giving off some major hygge vibes. It was a perfect place to sit back, enjoy some Danish food, and reflect on everything we've seen. We split a plate of sausage, bread, cabbage, and got some coffee because we needed to fuel up for our next excursion. We scarfed down our food and made a beeline to the bus stop that was close to the Viking Ship Museum. The 207 bus. And we got here at 3:41 and it's supposed to come at 3:42. Just kidding, 3:53. So we actually had a little bit more time in the cafe. After sprinting from the cafe, let's practice a little hygge and make ourselves cozy on this bench. What a contrast to the big city feel of Copenhagen. Now, in case you're wondering why we rushed to the bus stop, the Copenhagen City Card actually covers buses as well. Otherwise, I have no idea how to pay for a bus. Is it a token? Is it another app? Do I have to buy a paper ticket somewhere? Oh, I see the bus. There it is. It's coming. I think the bus fare was $3 US. They charged by zones, and I think we went through 2 zones. But hey, that's why we have the Copenhagen City Card, so I didn't have to worry about zones and the cost. The bus ride gave us a preview of the fjord that we're going to hike to. Look, some free-range cows. Wonder if that's where they get Danish butter for the delicious pastries. We basically took the bus to the last stop. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
The goal was to hike this loop to see the fjord and get back to the bus stop.
The bus runs once every hour. I need to make sure that the distance from here to here is about the same as from here to here. And so the next bus will be coming at 5:35, which means you have a little over an hour and 20 minutes to do this hike around the loop and then back down to the bottom base.
So we totally have to be strategic about this hike, and we're gonna miss a bit of it, so we're not gonna do the entire loop. But the main thing is getting down to that bus stop so we don't miss the bus, because it doesn't come for another hour after that. Who knew we would be hiking in a forest in the middle of Denmark? Actually, I didn't know very much about Denmark before coming here. I knew about Hamlet, and I knew Gus Hansen, the famous poker player. I feel like I'm holding a royal flush as we proceed on this tranquil hike. This looks so surreal. It looks like a flooded forest, something that you would see in a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. Which way to go? Well, I'm turned around. I have no idea which direction, so I'm going to trust my handy compass here. Okay, so according to the map, we need to go north, and north is pointing this way, which means we take this one here. Not that one, this one. To the north we go. We're about to embark a change in scenery. Oh, wow. The views of the Roskilde Fjord are breathtaking. This fjord isn't just a beautiful natural feature, it's also steeped in Viking history. Centuries ago, these waters were a key Viking trade route and the site where the famous Viking ships, now displayed at the Viking Ship Museum, were discovered. Standing at the edge of the fjord, it's easy to imagine Viking ships once sailing these waters, connecting Denmark to the wider world. I wish we could spend a little bit longer out here by the water, but we gotta hustle and keep on moving, because remember, we have a bus to catch. As we hiked away from the water, I couldn't help but notice that there were some opportunities to picnic in the forest. Hygge in the wild? Or hygge. Yeah, you can, light up a fire, grill up some food, sit around the fire, tell stories. That's pretty cozy. At least admission into the Boserup Forest was free. But remember, we did have to use the Copenhagen City Card to take the bus up here. What was the bus fare? I have no idea, but that's the beauty of it. I don't have to sit there and think about it and try to convert it from crowns to dollars. I'm not going to kiss it because that's gross and it probably won't turn into a prince anyways. It looks like something from a fairy tale, like, I don't know, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Look at all of that timber over there. Wonder if they're gonna bring it over to the Viking Museum and build some Viking ships. Just to give you a frame of reference here, so this is where we had started. This is where we got off, and we walked somewhere around here, and then we did this loop, and I guess we're trying to get this bus stop. Goodbye, Boserup Forest. It was fun. That was a fun hike. Now we're gonna walk down this road to the bus stop. Cool, we arrived at the bus stop, and it is 5:13, and the bus isn't supposed to be here until like 5:30. Mission accomplished. We didn't get lost in the forest, and we're not going to miss the bus. Overall, we hiked just under 2.5 miles. If we had completed the full loop, it would have been 2.68 miles, but this was close enough. 3 minutes later, Denmark's landscapes, even just outside a major city like Copenhagen, are dotted with history and natural beauty. It's easy to see why this small country has such a big heart filled with stories waiting to be uncovered. How convenient that there was a train schedule on the bus so we would know which track to get to. We would need to get to track 4. Okay, we got 9 minutes to hustle it to the train station so we could take the train back to Copenhagen. Okay, so it looks like we have arrived at track 4. The timing has been impeccable. Once again, the Copenhagen City Card got our train fare covered, so we didn't have to waste time at the ticketing screen. The urban planning of Roskilde is on point. So the bus station where we got off was just a couple of minutes walk to the train station. We even had 2 minutes to spare. Yep, right on time. Looks like our train is coming. Oh, and it's taking off on time. Bye, Roskilde. See you later. It was a fun day trip. This is a double-decker train, so we're actually sitting on the second floor, mainly because I wanted a better view. As we make our way back to Copenhagen, we reflected on the day's adventure. From walking in the footsteps of Vikings at the museum to hiking the serene trails of Boserup Forest, Roskilde has given us a perfect mix of history, culture, and nature. It was such a smooth ride back to Copenhagen that I was able to sneak in a quick cat nap on the train so I would be fresh for whatever evening activities we were going to embark. The Copenhagen Central Station is right next to Tivoli Gardens, Denmark's oldest amusement park. I guess it's their version of Disneyland, or at least where Walt Disney was inspired by the ambience of the park that he brought it to the US. Believe it or not, the Copenhagen City Card does cover for admission into Tivoli Gardens, which is valued at $24 US. Whoa, that is way cheaper than even a Southern California resident ticket to Disneyland, which will still run you about $100. Unfortunately, as you could see from the long lines, we were not able to get in because there was an electric pop concert going on that evening. I'll spare you the footage of us standing in line for an hour, but I did want to mention that Tivoli Gardens is included on the City Card if you wanted to maximize usage of it. Let's break down the cost of today's excursion to Roskilde using the 24-hour pass. This is the cost of all the activities featured in this vlog, which came out to be $68 US. But remember, it hadn't been the full 24 hours. The The following day, we were able to fit in a Copenhagen metro trip, an admission to Christiansborg Palace and Kitchen before 11:15 a.m. This brought our grand total for the full 24 hours to $99.50. It was $72.50 for the 24-hour pass, so we actually saved $27. Mission accomplished. The Copenhagen City Card did make our day convenient and saved us money. Now I can get a hot dog and some Danish pastries with those savings. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures. We'll be looking at the Danish royalty next.